Today I have a Halloween build that I'm really excited to share with you guys. This is the Ghost Whisperer. I don't know about you guys, but I think Halloween is the perfect holiday to get together with your friends and have a spooky one-shot. The only problem is one-shots are a pain to make. So luckily, I've done it for you. I've created a haunted house one-shot complete with ghosts, haunts, mysteries, and more. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. I've ran it a couple times. My party has loved it every single time, so I think you guys will enjoy it too. You guys can get it completely for free in the description down below. But with that out of the way, let's jump into the build. So our concept is to make this ghost-themed build. We are a medium. We're bringing them into existence. We do seances. Well, how are we going to pull that off? I think the best class and subclass to pull this off is definitely the College of Spirits Bard. I mean, it is tailor-made for this, so that's what we're going to focus on for this build, all 20 levels. So how about our Lineage? Well, we're going to be going custom Lineage specifically to pick up the Magic Initiate feat for Sorcerer. Why? Well, first off, it's going to give us Chill Touch, and I feel like Chill Touch is such an important cantrip for this build. Unlike its name would suggest, this actually gives us a 120-foot range cantrip that also does necrotic damage. So instead of thinking it as a frost hand, I think of it as a ghost's hand that floats around and grabs people for us. I think that's pretty cool. And it's very important for bards. It gives us a 120-foot range instead of a short range cantrip, which gives us way more options to maneuver and position ourselves well and protect ourselves. Bard's main issue in early levels is low defense, low offense. This increases our offense and defense via range. Super important for bards. And speaking of our defense, we're going to be picking up the shield spell as part of the Magic Initiate feat as well. A first level spammable shield is amazing for anyone, especially for bards. It really takes us from being terrible to being actually pretty decent at withstanding pressure. And what's really nice is silvery barbs mixed with shield gives us a way to alleviate pressure at all times, either for our teammates or for ourselves. Either way, we can alleviate pressure. As for our second cantrip, really go with whatever you want. I went with Shocking Grasp to enhance our survivability when we're being melee attacked to help us get that disengage and retreat. But honestly, if you wanted to be more in flavor, there's other options for you. As for our stats, we're going typical bard stuff. Charisma first, Constitution second, Dexterity tertiary. For our first two levels, we're going to be a normal bard except a better bard. Because of our range and damage increase and our shield defensive capabilities, we're fantastic at just staying away from enemies and surviving. Really, that's what these first two levels are about, is more about surviving than anything else. A little flavor note here, I think it'd be really cool to have your shield be like a ghost come in and actually block the attack for you. That's pretty neat. And speaking of our first level spells, what other first level spells fit our flavor? Well, the ones that stand out most to me are Bane and Dissonant Whispers. Our ghost is cursing our enemies, getting in their way, interacting with them, giving them shivers, making them feel uncomfortable. All that kind of stuff I love. And it really tells you that we're primarily going to be a debuffer. We're going to focus on debuffing our enemies via spells. Another spell I want to give some credit to is Silent Image. Ghosts are known to show people things that don't exist. And I really like that, to create an image and to either fear people or mess with them or confuse them. All sorts of things you can do with Silent Image. A lot of fun. At level 3, we're going to get second level spells, which we'll discuss a bit later. But more importantly, we're going to get a new way to use our Bardic Inspiration. Now, no matter when I'm using my Bardic Inspiration, I'm going to have it be via ghosts. I have a ghost companion go hang out with my teammate, and it helps them when they call on it. That's pretty cool for Bardic Inspiration. But we get a special kind of inspiration as the College of Spirits Bard, and I really like it. So how it works is, instead of using a bonus action, we use an action. Then we roll our Bardic Inspiration die, and whatever number it rolls on, we get a different effect. And that effect is stored in us. It's like we talk to a ghost, and the ghost comes and hangs out with us. And then when we use another action, that ghost goes and does whatever it does. And then that's within a 30-foot range of us. Now, there's some interesting nuance in how to use this, but typically what you're going to do is, as soon as you finish a long rest, you're going to use one of your Bardic Inspirations to go ahead and use this feature, to know what you're storing, to know how to use it. Now, a couple of them are going to give temporary HP to either you or your allies, namely 3 and 6. So if you roll a 3 or 6, use it right away and then use your Tales from Beyond again and store another one. If you roll 3 or 6 again, give it to another teammate and roll again. So basically when you roll a 3 or 6, you get another chance to use it. Now, what's interesting about this feature is there are 12 options, but because you start with a d6, you can only roll the first 6. So as your inspiration dice increases, the amount of ghosts you can interact with also increases. Now, I'm not going to go into each of them individually, but you have some that buff your allies. You have some that are like what I would call strong cantrips. They're essentially a cantrip effect where it's either save, something doesn't happen, or you don't save and an effect happens, usually damage and an effect, but the effects are a lot stronger than normal cantrips. So So it's like you get a couple strong cantrip options, and later down the line you get a healing option, you get an AoE option, so it does enhance and get better as time progresses, but overall that's what you should kind of expect. The worst of them is definitely a 1, which gives advantage on mental skill checks, and so it's not going to come up every day, so some days you're just going to want to use it really quick, forget about it, and then go get another one. So 1 is one I might throw away, where the rest I'd probably just store and use as an action in combat. As for our level 2 spells, Phantasmal Force stands out to me as a ghost haunting someone, giving them these images. They don't know what's real and what's not, totally ghost-like. Hold Person is another option where they're just terrified, they're frozen with fear possibly, or that a ghost has just possessed them and has paralyzed their body. They can't move, or they're fighting this ghost who's attempting to possess them. That's pretty neat, but those are just my choices. Really, you can pick whatever you want, just flavor it via the ghosts. At level 4, we're picking up an ASI. We're going to be going into Charisma no matter what. If your Charisma is odd, you get to pick up a Charisma half feat. Honestly, Charisma half feats are great. Fey Touch is going to be fine. I'm going to go with Shadow Touch with this build. I think it's just a bit more in flavor. Invisibility is going to be great for us. It's a great defensive option, and it's a great utility option. As for our first level spell, you have options. You can go Cause Fear. I'm probably going to go with Inflict Wounds just to give us a melee option, and I like the idea of like a ghost spectral hand surrounding ours, and then we touch them to do a bunch of necrotic damage. At level 5, we're picking up 3rd level spells, and as always, they're amazing. The big ones I'm looking at are Fear. Fear I think fits this flavor fantastically, but Hypnotic Pattern works just fine. Honestly, debuffed casters are probably the most powerful casters in the entire game, and that really shows here at level 3. Hypnotic Pattern and Fear are such huge fight-winning spells that this level is powerful just for that reason alone. Some other fun flavored ones are Bestow Curse, Clairvoyance, or Feign Death could be a lot of fun. Also at level 5, we get to restore our Bardic Inspiration on a short rest, so be very liberal with your ghost, giving those out to your friends and using your action to get the special ghost. Just have a lot of fun with that. At level 6, we get Spirit Session. Now, Spirit Session is a really fancy way to say we get to pick a necromancy spell to add to our spell list. We're going to be picking up Summon Undead. Now, there's a lot of flavor in this for creating our seance and having a lot of fun there, but ultimately, we're looking for Summon Undead. What Summon Undead is going to allow us to do is summon a ghost, and the summoned ghost is going to be great. It flies, it causes fear on its attack with a saving throw, so it's just really, really good, and we're going to be happy to summon it pretty dang often, perfectly in flavor. Something to keep note of is it enhances on even spell levels, so you want to cast it at level 4 instead of level 3 as often as possible, and level 6 instead of level 5 or 7, for example. But in any case, this is perfect for the flavor, and I'm really happy to pick it up here. Now, this is really the soul of the build. You're going to keep doing this, and when you level up, you pick a bunch of ghost-fueled spells. So at level 7, we're going to be upcasting and Summon Undead, for example. But our next really big choice comes in at level 10 when we get Magical Secrets. How do we want to use this? Well, I think there's a bunch of different options. I really, really like Commune. Commune, I think, is perfect for the flavor, and we're already a ritual caster. So now we get to talk to these ghosts, and they actually get to give us answers. I think that's awesome. Another one that's really powerful but can be problematic at tables is Animate Objects, which I think is perfect for that poltergeist feeling where objects are flying around the room. Just make sure you don't ruin your table's fun. The next one I really love is Hallow. Hallow allows us to create a space that's free of ghosts. It kind of represents to me the mastery of ghosts. We can create our home base to have ghosts flying throughout it that scare anyone who isn't welcome. We can banish ghosts, so we have a time period where we can be free of their undead influence. Things like that can be a ton of fun, and it's mostly flavor based, but there are some mechanical advantages, namely around your base, but I think there's a lot of fun to be had with that spell. If you're wanting to go more of a necromancer, you can do Dance Macabre here instead, but for me, I wanted to focus more on the ghosts than I did on skeletons and ghouls and zombies and whatnot, so I went for the more ghost flavor here. And there's really not more to say. It is fairly straightforward. You're going to be focused on getting those ghostly spells. You are going to be powerful. You have a fun flavor, so it's a great build, but there's really not a ton of nuance after this point. It's all basically what spells do you want? Can they be flavored ghost-like? Go for it. I personally would have a ton of fun with this build, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, and while you're down there, go ahead and grab the free one-shot. Why not? It's completely free, and you can find it in the description below. With that, my friends, I hope you have yourselves an incredible day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.